Hi guys, it's Luke again from Cam Cards, and today I'm going to be profiling a £30 budget Ice Barrier deck profile made out of just 3 structure decks. This deck is a go second deck but also has place going first, and there'll be a combo tutorial out tomorrow showcasing some of the bread and butter combos for this deck. Okay, so starting off with the monsters, you play 3 Revealer of the Ice Barrier. This card is your normal summon of the deck. It basically, you can discard a card to special summon a tuner from the deck. So if you special summon a Hexa Spirit, you can modulate its level and make it level 2 or 3 to make him Gungnir or Bryanak. So it's one of the best normal summons in the deck. When it is in the graveyard after being synchro summoned, if you have to pay a discard on any of the Ice Barrier monsters, you can banish this from your graveyard instead. So with certain cards in the deck that you have to discard for, you're able to use this instead, allowing you to keep resources in your hand. Next, we play a 3 Speaker of the Ice Barrier. This card is the new extender for the deck. It allows you to special summon it to the field, but then once it is in the graveyard, if you use it for a synchro summon or something, you can banish it to summon another token to the field. So it's a good extender that if you open it with Revealer, you're able to make a Trishula Sub-Zero Dragon, and then go into that into those plays. Next, we play 2 Zujin. Zujin is great to summon off Winds and then summon General Wayne, but it's really bad to see in your opening hand because it doesn't do much other than if you already have the Wayne in your hand as well. So it's good in some cases, but it's better to search in the situation where you need it, which is why you only play 2. You also play 2 Hexa Spirit. Hexa Spirit is a level 1 tuner for the deck. You can modulate its level by sending a Ice Barrier from deck to the graveyard under level 3. So you can make its level 2, 1, well it's already 1, but you make it 2 or 3, so you can go into synchro plays with these cards. Next we have General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. This card, when it's on the field, spells and traps that are sent to the graveyard are banished instead. So in the Eldritch matchup, they don't get any resources after they use their spells and traps initially. So this card, as I said in the previous video, this card's very good in that matchup. It comes up in other matchups as well, like if you're playing against Paleo or something where they need their spells and traps in the graveyard, or like Solomon Great, because they all get banished, and then this card can sometimes just win a game by itself. Next, you play 3 Prior of the Ice Barrier. This is just a free extender, but it's a free extender, but it locks you into level 5 or lower monsters, so it means you can't synchro summon after you special summon it for free. But in the grind game, you can just normal summon this and attribute it to special summon any card from any Ice Barrier from the grave. So you can special summon any of these. Then you just play some names for Hexa Spirit. These guys aren't very good, but they also have that. These are the best out of the older lot that also do something on the field other than just being discard fodder. Like this one's kind of hard for BA to out. This one's kind of hard for decks like Eldritch that don't play a lot of big monsters. So these cards do come up quite often. Now for the non-Ice Barrier monster, you just play 2 Silent Angler. This is a free special summon. You special summon it to the field, but you can't special summon cards from your hand that way till the end of the turn. Now moving on to spells, we play 3 Winds of the Ice Barrier. This card's a very good extender, but it can also just take a really bad named Ice Barrier and turn it into a good one, because it just special summons an Ice Barrier from the deck by tributing 1. So if you open this and like Defender, you can just normal summon the Defender, wins, and then you get the Revealer, or you get the Miko, or you get the tuner that you need to be able to play the game a bit better. You get your normal summons. So this card's like a pseudo normal summon if you open a bad card. You then also play 3 Freezing Change the Ice Barrier. This is just a monster reborn from the deck, but if you have 3 or more Ice Barriers on the field, your Ice Barriers cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects that from monsters that come from the extra deck. So in some matchups this does come up, but you're more playing it for the extender effect. You then play 3 Medallion of the Ice Barrier. This card is just a free search spell for the deck. You search any Ice Barrier monster. It's an extra 3 Revealer, and then you're playing Winds as well, and then all the Ice Barrier names. So you play quite a lot of your normal summon. So you can just you basically always have Revealer, and if you don't have Revealer, you have enough extenders to put out some sort of play until you get Revealer. Next, for the non-Ice Barrier spells, you play 3 Surface and 2 Salvage. Salvage can recycle some of the Ice Barrier monsters back to your hand. So if you need a Miko or you need a Zujin because you drew a Wayne or you just need an extra extender, this is going to add them back to your hand. So this card is very good in the grind game, as well as Surface being able to be an extender to just summon back your Hexa Spirit or summon back the defender that you send off the Hexa Spirit to get an extra extender. Or summon back a non-tuner like Chiromancer just to have a card in the field for better synchro plays. Next, moving on to the traps, we play 3 Crackdown, 2 Heavy Stormbuster, and a 1 Tariff Trishula. This is because the deck doesn't really have many gold first plays, and these are like interruptions that are actually able to do something going first. Next, for the extra deck, you play 3 Trishula Sub-Zero Dragon. Well, Trishula Zero Dragon, the name got changed. This is your main boss monster. You put it on the field, and if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Trishula from the graveyard or from the extra deck. So you can recycle Trishula. It basically loops Trishula, and you can do it every turn. So you're going to get a Trishula every turn as long as you can make this. So you're going to be able to keep forcing your opponent to discard cards, or you can keep popping cards that your opponent has. And it's also a body as well. It's really high, and you can banish 3 cards your opponent controls when it's synchro summoned as well. So this card's actually really good in this deck because you can very easily make it as long as you draw a normal summon and an extender because of Hexa Spirit being able to modulate its level. As well as this Trishula, you play the 1 Baby Trishula. This card you just summon off this, you're not really going to be making this except for very specific hands where you open Revealer and Miko and you don't modulate Hexa Spirit's level, you'll be able to make this. So technically in some matchups, this might be better to make before this, but you're mainly going to be going into this because it then gives you the extra body. You then play the 1 DeLorean. I don't think this card's going to stay limited for very long, although it's very good in other synchro decks. I don't see them keeping this limited due to the structure deck now coming out, and also the fact that the card's not very good anymore. You would prefer to make the Sub-Zero Dragon or one of your Bryonax or a Gungnir. So I imagine this card's going to come off soon. Bryonax and Gungnir are also very good cards. Bryonax bounces to the hand and Gungnir pops. They have very similar effects, but in certain matchups, you don't want to pop their back row, or you don't want to bounce their back row so they can use it again. So this is basically, you can pick between these when you modulate with Hexa Spirit. Because if you pick a level 3, it's a 3+4, or if you pick a level 2, it's a 2+3. So these cards are, they're good, but to improve this deck, you'd want to play something like maybe a Black Rose Dragon, or a better synchro like Shooting Riser Dragon, because if you have that extra money and you're not just buying the £30 list, maybe finishing off the extra deck by adding a generic Link monster as well, for when you lock yourself with Prior, like an Appaloosa and a generic Link monster would make this deck so much better. Next, I'll quickly run through the side deck I put together. You play 3 Point of the Red Lotus. You side this in going first. It's a good card, but it does tell your opponent what you have in your hand. But because you're gonna play it you're gonna go first. You're gonna set this, and then you're gonna activate it. You're not gonna have much in your hand anyway because you're gonna combo with it, or you're gonna set it. You play the 3 Phoenix Chain. This can also come in going first. This card's very good. It's good, but it's not the best trap you could play. If you have extra traps, you would probably play it. Next, you play the 1 Stormbuster. This is the extra one. It's good against back row decks if you're playing against Eldritch. You have a lot of cards to deal with Eldritch. The deck's got a really good matchup with Eldritch, but it's not too good against Drytron and Virtual World. It can play against them with certain cards, like Mind Drain. Mind Drain sort of kills those matchups, but at the same time, this card also sometimes can kill you at the same time. Then play the 3 Dance, again, is another card that's good in back row matchups. And 3 Maiden, this is a Winder, but for back row. So a lot of this is back row based or going first. You're not going to have much signing going second, just with this £30 build. Thank you for watching all the way to the end for this Ice Barrier budget deck profile. There will be a combo tutorial using this deck out tomorrow. So make sure you go and see that, and make sure you go and watch the opening for this deck that I did yesterday.